The time-traveling pizza delivery guy. Once upon a time in a bustling city, there was a pizza delivery guy named Tony. Tony was your average guy, with a big heart and an even bigger dream of adventure. Every day, he zipped around town on his scooter, delivering hot, cheesy pizzas from his favorite shop, Pizzas R Us. But deep down, Tony longed for something more than just pepperoni and extra cheese. One sunny afternoon, while tossing dough and chatting with customers, Tony received an unusual order. It was a pizza for a mysterious address he had never seen before. Curiosity piqued, Tony grabbed the pizza box and hopped on his scooter, ready for whatever adventure awaited him. As he arrived at the address, he found himself in front of an old, creaky house that looked like it hadn't been touched in centuries. The air was thick with mystery. With a mix of excitement and apprehension, Tony knocked on the door, which swung open on its own. Inside, he noticed a shimmering light coming from the pizza box. Intrigued, he took a step closer, and suddenly, a whirlwind of colors enveloped him. When the colors faded, Tony found himself standing in the middle of a medieval village. Knights were jousting, and the scent of roasted meats filled the air. Confused but exhilarated, Tony realized he had somehow time-traveled. He glanced down at the pizza box, which was still glowing. Determined to make the best of this bizarre situation, Tony decided to deliver his pizza to the king. He navigated through the bustling village, dodging horses and villagers, until he reached a grand castle. Inside, the king and his court were gathered, looking rather grumpy. Tony burst into the hall, holding the pizza high above his head. Pizza delivery. Extra toppings for the king. The court gasped, and the king, a jolly man with a long beard and a crown too big for his head, laughed heartily. What sorcery is this? A pie from the future, the king boomed. Tony explained the concept of pizza, and the king's eyes lit up with delight. Bring forth the feast, he commanded. Soon, the grand hall was filled with laughter and joy as Tony served slices to knights, ladies, and even a curious dragon who had wandered in. As the party continued, Tony realized he could use the glowing pizza box to travel to other times. With a flick of his wrist, he activated the box once more, and in a flash, he was off to ancient Rome. There, he delivered pizzas to gladiators preparing for battle, and even shared a slice with a famous philosopher who pondered the meaning of life between bites. Next, Tony found himself in the Wild West, where he dodged lasso-wielding cowboys and delivered a pizza to a saloon filled with rowdy patrons. He became an instant hit, teaching everyone how to toss a pizza dough high in the air while they sang old-timey songs. Finally, Tony was whisked away to the Roaring Twenties, where he danced the Charleston with flappers and served pizzas at a speakeasy. The jazz music was infectious, and Tony couldn't help but join in the fun, twirling and spinning with everyone. After a whirlwind of time-traveling adventures and pizza parties, Tony knew it was time to return home. With a heart full of stories and a belly full of delicious food, he activated the glowing pizza box one last time. In a flash, Tony found himself back in the old house, the pizza box now dim but still warm. He stepped out into the present day, and everything felt the same yet different. When he returned to the pizza shop, his coworkers were buzzing with activity, oblivious to the incredible journey he had just experienced. Tony excitedly shared his wild stories of medieval knights, gladiators, cowboys, and flappers. His friends listened in disbelief, but they couldn't help but laugh at the thought of a time-traveling pizza delivery guy. As he prepared for another delivery, Tony glanced at the now quiet pizza box, a knowing smile on his face. He had a feeling that this wouldn't be the last of his adventures. With a twinkle in his eye, he thought, who knows where the next pizza will take me? And with that, the adventure of Tony, the time-traveling pizza delivery guy, was just beginning.